Welcome, everybody, to episode 10 of Everything You Love. I'm Rob Arnold. Thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being with me on this journey so far this way. Hopefully there's a lot more to come. If you've been liking what you've been seeing, please make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you know when I'm releasing new videos. Today's video is going to be just answering some more questions. I still got a boatload of them from you guys, which is awesome. Feel free to ask more in the comment section below. And let's get right to it. If you do like what you see here, make sure you give the video a big thumbs up. Check out my Patreon campaign, which you can find more about by following the link in the description below. Here we go. All right, first question of the day. Mr. Josh Keeney asks, first, there are noticeable changes in the style between Pass Out of Existence and The Impossibility of Reason, and also between Resurrection and The Infection. What led to the changes in style between albums? Also, everybody knows you are a huge Metallica fan, and have you had the chance to meet your idols over the years, James or Kirk? If not, what was the closest you got? Love the Elite records. Keep on riffing. Well, thanks, Josh. So glad you like those Elite records. And anybody that doesn't know about the Elite or wants to find out more about it, again, everything plus a ton of other information is available in the description below. So check out my band, The Elite. I know you'll like it. The changes between Impossibility of Reason and Pass Out. I feel like I've gone over this quite a bit, but when Chimaira made Pass Out of Existence, I feel like, in hindsight, that we're just caught up in the whole nu metal thing, which was just a lot of, I don't know, Limp Bizkit and Korn and Linkin Park and all that kind of stuff. Just this wave of music that was heavy was becoming very popular, and we just got swept up into that and kind of, I don't know, made an album like that, not because we thought we should, but it just kind of happened. And after that, I think we wanted to kind of just return to our more metal roots, like kind of refocus, right the ship, and get it back in the direction of the stuff that we loved a lot. The majority of us, you know, we're diehard Metallica, Sepultura, Pantera, Slayer fans, and Pass Out of Existence got away from us somehow, and got away from that a little bit, I think. And this is just my opinion. The other guys in the band may have their own opinions, but again, this is just in hindsight. So I feel like we kind of just wanted to break that nu metal stigma a tiny bit, because there was the stigma attached to it at the time that was kind of, I don't know, weird. And we just wanted to be a heavy metal band. We didn't want to be a nu metal band. We didn't want to be a death metal band, thrash metal band. We just wanted to be a heavy metal band. And so we refocused and made The Impossibility of Reason, like, got away from the 7 strings. I think that was my push for that. I just didn't feel as comfortable on a 7-string. The low tuning, I didn't have the clarity and the cut through the amps that I wanted. So we went back to 6-string, went to the drop C, which is the tuning Mark always loved, and just started firing them out. And the riffs and the songs that were coming weren't like pre-planned or anything. They're just what happened, and there you have The Impossibility of Reason. So I think it was just an energy and a focus and kind of a new game plan without even knowing what the plan was going to be that we just dove right into. Then Resurrection to Infection, that's kind of an interesting one, because on Resurrection, there was this total renewed energy in the band. Andals had come back. We had a brand new record deal with Ferret Records. Things were going good. Shows were going well. We were getting good tours. Just all this kind of good stuff was happening, and there was this brand new reinvigorated camaraderie in the band when we got together to start writing, and it just felt really good, and there was just so much energy, and that's what I think of Resurrection. I think of it as an album with a lot of energy. And then when it came time to make The Infection a little later, I think we consciously decided that we were going to start writing on the road, which is something we had never done. So Mark and I just holed up in the back lounge, and we had the ability to do so with a portable Pro Tools rig, a portable way to record ourselves, and we would just kind of after shows or during the day if we had time, just started writing the record that way, and it was totally different. It wasn't the 6 of us having fun in a room together writing. It was just 2 of us kind of in this back lounge of the bus, dark and quiet, and The Infection is the vibe that came out of that. It's a lot more subdued. It's still groovy, ultra heavy at times, but yeah, I don't know. When I think of Resurrection, I think of this smile on Matt DeVries' face for some reason, like just us being happy, writing riffs all together, everybody laughing, handles and all that. And then I think of The Infection. I think of more like just serious kind of hard work, a mission in mind, a goal that we had to write this record, and we were going to do it on the road. We weren't at home to be able to write with everybody, so Mark and I were just going to do it like that, and that's how we did it. And the sounds are completely different. And I think that's just natural. I mean, bands, you can't write the same record twice in a row or even sound like it because things just change in your lives, your tastes, your environment, things around you, all that. And so, although I think the fans may want the same record kind of over and over again or something that they really love, they probably want just more of it on the next record, but it just never works that way. You know, take all your favorite bands, for example. They change throughout, whether it's for the better or the worse. So that's that. Everybody knows I'm a huge Metallica fan. Have I had the chance to meet those guys? James or Kirk? Yes. I am. I was fortunate enough to meet them all. Our band was Download Festival 2003. Metallica also played that show. And right after they played, they were in the backstage, like outdoor area, which we were also in. Everybody that played that day on that stage just had access to it. And so we were back there, and they were signing stuff for everybody. You know, and we kind of got our turn. They had their security around. I mean, it was awesome just how everything was set up. They had their own garbage cans in England, like Metallica 55-gallon garbage cans with the Metallica logo on them. Like they had that stuff there with them and everything. Just totally cool, totally inspiring to see all that. But so we got our chance. Lars talked to us for an hour, it seemed like, you know, gave him an Impossibility of Reason. There's a picture floating around of Jim with him and Lars holding an Impossibility of Reason, which is totally awesome. Just briefly shook hands with Robert and Kirk, and then I was waiting to say what's up to James. And a lot of people, I've told this story to a lot of people, but I'm sure more people haven't heard it, so I'm going to tell it again. I'm waiting to talk to James, and I'm not a guy that like really cares about autographs. Just never have. Never really collected them or anything like that. But at this time, Chimaira was on tour in England or Europe. I don't remember what tour it was or who we were with or anything. But this Download Festival just happened to be one stop on this tour. We were doing normal club dates around, and we do little festival shows here, big festival shows here and there. But our tour laminate for this particular tour was this right here. And I will put a bigger picture of this on the screen somewhere here. But this is our Chimaira laminate, but it's Ride the Lightning themed. And, you know, the colors, and has the Chimaira and the All Access there with the signature Metallica, like, you know, the A and the M at the beginning and end of their name and all that. And so I thought to myself, I have this here. I'm going to get it signed by the guys. So everybody, Lars, Robert, Kirk, they all signed it for me real quick. Waiting to have James sign it. And at this moment, I'm like next to talk to him. It's not like there's some huge line. It's just like one other guy just finishing up his conversation. I'm just waiting there, waiting to say hey. I'm sure he knows there's some dude waiting next or whatever. So anyways, there's somebody filming James or something, and he isn't aware of that. And he turns and sees this guy, and he gets all pissed off, and he has a security, like, get this guy out of here or something like that. And he's yelling at him, so he's kind of angry as he turns to me, you know, and he's like, you know, and I'm like, hey, James, big fan, man. So James is just kind of pissed, and he's just going through the motions. All right, what's up, man? I'm gonna sign you whatever you got for me. And so I pull this off. This thing is just attached to my laminates that I carried around on tour, and I pull it up for him to sign, and he's like, all right. Nice. And that was the best. That's all he said. I'm like, thanks, man, huge fan, whatever, and that was it. So yeah, met the guys. They were all super cool. Great experience for me. Another notch on the belt there. Just as a kid, with posters of them on my wall to meeting and playing with them. Absolutely surreal. Got to meet and play with Newstead all summer too. That summer of 2003 on the Ozfest when he was with, I think it was Voivod, something. So that was cool. Didn't hang with him or anything or really talk to him much, but said what's up. Really cool stuff there. And so yeah, that does it. Okay, Zeno DeJong. What's up, Zeno? How did you set up the set lists of Chimaira? Did you try to keep it fresh by including B-side tracks, so to speak, or did the hits usually end up as being the first songs placed on the set list? And what did you do to make the set feel as a natural, continuous listening party for the fans? There were never really a lot of like B-sides on there. It's not really how you think. Like, I would say most bands, they can't just play whatever. At least in our case, I always wanted to make sure that we were super tight with whatever we were going to play. So there was some contention in the band about that over years because some guys just wanted to be able to have a random set list, things like that. But I always thought, like, we got to rehearse that stuff, and that's what we'd do. We'd pick out our set list before the tour, and sometimes we'd make it, crowd favorites right at the beginning of the set. So that we started off just on fire with a ton of energy with a bunch of songs that people knew, and then we could sprinkle in some slower or more random stuff in the middle. Sometimes we'd end real strong. We'd have like 4 or 5 of our biggest songs like right at the end of the set. Sometimes we'd do more of a roller coaster. Hit song, not so hit song, not so hit song, fast song, slow song, fast song, slow song. We just try a bunch of different things. Sometimes we try to focus on a little bit more older stuff. Sometimes we try to put more older stuff in there. We'd always try to feature at least a couple of the new songs for whatever album we were promoting at that time. But you could just never make everybody happy. You know, some people love the set, some people don't like the set. It's like when I go see a show. You know, a lot of the time the band plays too much new stuff that I don't care about, not enough old stuff, or vice versa, or whatever. So what I've just found is you just can't make everybody happy. We as bands just try our best to make a set that we think people are going to like, because you got to play the hits. At least that's what we thought. Some bands can get away with more obscurity. I'm sure Tool or whatever could just do whatever they want, you know. So, but again, we tried to play different things more often. But it's hard when you're not rehearsed for that stuff. I always wanted to make sure that every song we were going to play was going to be totally rehearsed. Maybe we'd have a couple extras, like if the show was going really well and we needed to do a couple extra songs as an encore. We had a couple in the bag that we could do that maybe we weren't doing every night, but we had still rehearsed them before the tour to have them ready. So it's just too hard to break out some song you haven't played in 4 years or something like that and expect it to be tight and sound great without mess-ups, things like that, for everybody to remember all their parts and just kind of know their cues and all that. So, I mean, if you're Metallica and everybody's heard of their jam room, you know, they have a spot where they have a second set of gear all set up and they can jam and play what they're going to play, practice everything before they go on that night. So that's great, but you have to be near Metallica size to have that luxury on a night-to-night basis. So we just tried our best just to play what we thought, you know, would go best for that tour or that show or that night. For that era. Okay, Matt Flinders is asked, I would assume that given enough time, a touring musician such as yourself might have grown tired of playing the same songs night after night. Were there any songs that you never grew tired of playing from the Chimaira catalog? Conversely, which song did you least look forward to playing? It's weird in a way because I think of, if I had to think of a song that we would get sick of playing, or I would get sick of playing, like the first one that comes to mind is Severed. That was kind of like the black sheep where we'd be like, oh, this is just going to be, we're just going to play Severed again. Let's play something different, blah, 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 blah. But the thing is that it was a staple. It was a hit that people could sing along to. And so we would play it all the time. And it was fun to play because that crowd interaction is awesome. And those are the best songs for me. The ones that people are singing along and really having a good time to. It's the worst playing new material sometimes that nobody knows and you're getting a bunch of blank stares. Even though if they may love it and stuff, you still like that interaction. The best for me is seeing people singing along. You know, like me and all of us in Cleveland grew up in the Cleveland hardcore scene where the recognition was people like climbing over people to get to the mic to sing along and everybody just going crazy in there, and that was the best. And once you saw that, you know, in your own shows, you knew you were onto something, you know. So that's what you want, and we would get that from a song like Severed, even though it was one that we played like every show since the beginning, you know, or, well, since super early on. And then ones that I look forward to playing, you know, by the same token, like a song like Pure Hatred. So played that for years too. Play it every single night. It's one that was always on the set list because it was one of our biggest songs. That, Power Trip, those songs are the biggest sing-alongs and the funnest to play. So wouldn't get sick of them, but I think a Seek and Destroy, Metallica Seek and Destroy. How long have they been playing that? Since the early 80s, you know, but it's the Kill 'Em All staple. They play every night, and people just expect that. So whether you're sick of them or not, just comes with the territory. And some nights, certain songs are funner than others. Just kind of depends on that crowd reaction. JJ Talbot asks, what's the best piece of advice you could give to yourself when getting the label deal with Roadrunner? If you had the knowledge you have now. Also, what's your favorite track to play off Pass Out? Cheers, man. Well, my favorite track to play off of Pass Out. Bringing up the songs here. I don't know that I have a favorite one to play. I like playing Let Go. We never played a lot of these often, you know? Except for Severed, like I said. Painting the White to Gray was kind of the one off Pass Out that we played the most whenever we'd revisit the Pass Out album. Forced Life. And it's crazy, because recently I did the Pass Out of Existence guitar playthrough medley. And that's one of my most popular videos. So it goes to show that I think people want to hear these tunes. So trust me, it's noted for if we play live again. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just going to say Severed would be my favorite to play live just because of that crowd interaction. And then what would I say to a younger myself about getting the deal with Roadrunner? I would say just remain patient and let things run the course. When I personally was the one that was kicking and screaming to get off of Roadrunner, it's because I didn't think they were doing enough for us. I thought we should have been bigger. I thought there should have been more promotion, more money spent on us, more everything, that we had this potential that wasn't being fully recognized, and that Roadrunner could have been doing so much more. And now I look back, and it was just that things take longer than I wanted them to. And I regret that completely. I mean, we had a nice career afterwards, and all the people at Ferret and Nuclear Blast and E1, our labels after that, were all cool and all that kind of stuff. And, I probably wouldn't change anything of how things happened, but certainly in hindsight, I regret fighting about Roadrunner like that, because there were so many good people that were working hard to make everything happen for us that did happen. Everybody in the States, the UK especially, Europe, everybody there, that I just was too naive to consider, and I neglected to think about all that kind of stuff. I didn't think about the people, I just thought of it as a business. And there were a lot of people that put their heart and souls into working Chimaira's record and all the bands on Roadrunner, because it was like a family. That metal family was so awesome to be a part of Roadrunner, and I was just too impatient and was just young and naive and didn't know what was up. And that was probably a mistake to try to take the band off the label like that. And they did eventually let us go. Maybe it was if you love something, let it go type scenario or whatever. So again, I would just tell my younger self to just be patient and let things play out, that things are always going to take longer than you think they're going to, which is certainly the case I found for almost everything in life. All right. Cormac Tunstead asks, this question is no longer relevant. But at the time that Cormac asked it, it was relevant. And he asks, if Machine Head asked you to fill in on guitar, given they are looking for new members, would you join?
I don't know, I guess.
Mike Walsh asks, top 3 albums and top 3 songs. Assuming you mean my favorite. Metallica, And Justice for All, Shortest Straw. Pantera, Far Beyond Driven, Shedding Skin. Megadeth, Countdown to Extinction, Ashes in Your Mouth. Now, while those are definitely 3 of my favorite bands, 3 of my favorite albums, 3 of my favorite songs, I feel bad leaving out Slayer, Sepultura, Cannibal Corpse, stuff like that. That's why, it's so hard to sum it up. You need 5 or 10 favorite bands, albums, and songs or whatever to really cover everything you're into, I think. All right. Sheppy Sheps from South London. Do bands play practical jokes on each other at festivals or on the road? And if so, what are some of the best? I don't know about the best. The immediate thing that comes to mind for me was Chimaira's very first tour. We were out with Boiler Room, Nonpoint, and Spineshank. And we were told that, bands play end-of-tour pranks on one another. So on the very last day, one of us got the bright idea to go to the store, and we bought a bunch of bags of flour, to bake with. And as Nonpoint, was finishing their last song. We went up on stage with them, broke open these bags of flour, and started shaking them all over the place. Oh man, were they pissed. It was a huge mistake and a huge disaster. Flour just everywhere, not only, in dudes' eyes and ears and hair and clothes, but I mean, to get all this flour out of the pickups of guitars, every drum rim, every piece of hardware on the drum set, screens of microphones, people's racks and dudes' bags and laptops and just breathing it and everything. We all helped and spent a long time cleaning up afterwards. And all those guys, I remember the Non-Point guys, were just pissed. There was nothing funny about it. And from that point on, I've always despised the thought of any pranks on tour and loathe the thought of any opening band or whatever trying to do something to us, because we were just stupid and having fun, just kids having fun and everything. But it was a big mistake. Sorry, Non-Point. I'm sure you've forgiven us by now, but I know that sucked. Good times. Justin Royal. What is the biggest fish you have ever caught? Ever caught a largemouth bass? Do they even have those in Cleveland? Yes, they do. Why am I even bringing this question up? I know Justin's just having some fun. Justin's a friend of mine, big time fisherman. You got to check out his YouTube channel, Justin Royal. All the guy does is fish, and he does it well. You should check it out if you're into fishing like I am. But the reason that I decided to even put this question up in here is that while searching for other pictures for this episode here, I came across a picture of myself from my younger days here, and you'll see, what is that, Justin? Is that a smallmouth? I don't know. But yes, we have largemouth in Cleveland, and love fishing. Still got to hook up sometime and do it, man. Check out Justin's channel. Next. Another old buddy here, Tactical Considerations, asks, color and brand of your first guitar. I know I still have the photo. So Tactical Considerations is my friend Mike from Phoenix, Arizona, growing up. We started playing guitar together. He got one first from a JCPenney catalog. We had other buddies that were playing, and then I was part of this deal where I was first lessons I was taking. I got an acoustic, and I was taking lessons at Brindley's Music in I don't know if it was Chandler, Arizona. I don't know if it's still there or not. Somebody chime in, let me know. But at any rate, I was renting an acoustic, and a couple bucks from the rental each month would go into this bank, and when you saved enough, you could use it towards a purchase at the guitar shop. So one day, this awesome neon yellow guitar showed up. It was a Chimaira, which I don't know if it's an off-brand of Ibanez, or if it's a Squire to a Fender or something like that, but it's a Chimaira, and I wanted it big time. And I told this story in a Guitar World once. Check out this picture here, where I had my dad take me up there to Brindley's, and he saw this yellow guitar, and he's like, why don't you go with something a little safer, like this Sunburst Fender or something. So, but no, I needed this neon yellow Chimaira, and I told this story in Guitar World one time, and a great artist, Stephen Ciancanelli, drew this character of me there, and my dad buying this guitar. So cool stuff. So, anyways, that's my first electric there. You can see it here, and I got the amp with it too. That little PB Rage 108, part of the combo there. I think that setup right there was $450 or something. It came with a cable and a stand, so we bring it back to the house, and there I am, young shredder with the Chimaira. I don't know, maybe I'm 11 there, something like that. Now there's Mike Mills from Tactical Considerations. Check out Mike's channel if you're into shooting and special ops and stuff like that. Mike's out there keeping our streets safe and educating people and doing reviews on guns and different weapons and stuff like that. So yeah, you can check out his channel as well, Tactical Considerations. Really cool stuff. All my buddies that come over. My buddy Brian, Nick and Mike there. Nick on the right, he's a drummer. Mike was another guitar player. We jam. But everybody that would come over would play the Chimaira. And it was a great guitar. My first electric. And I still have it. And I broke it out. It's not working too well anymore these days. Something with the pickups and the electronics. But I'll try a little, see what we got. Still plays great, though. A lot of strums on this bad boy. Thanks, Dad. We got time for one more here. Ryan Victor White Zombie wants to know, who is my most influential artist that makes me write such crushing riffs? Well, come on now, Ryan. You know it's Metallica. Everybody knows that, man. Yeah, so anyways, threw on the hat for this. A guy named Jakey Jake from a band Life Down gave me this years and years and years ago. Another big Metallica fan. If you ever see this, anybody knows who I'm talking about, chime in. Tell him I said what's up. Thanks, everybody. Had a great time. I hope to see everybody again soon. Again, follow me on the socials. Check out my Patreon campaign. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And give it a big thumbs up for me. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching. Cheers, everybody. Take care. See you soon.